Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Merrimack Town Center Committee. We're meeting on the 9th of February in the Matthew Thornton Room in the Town Hall. This is our first meeting since November. A few interesting things have happened, and I wanted to at least have a meeting. We're missing a couple of members. I don't know where they are. They didn't tell me they weren't coming. But we'll go ahead and may have to backtrack a little bit to accommodate them. Our first order of business this morning is to approve the minutes of our meeting on November the 17th, which I sent out to everyone. After I sent it out, and as I'm sitting here waiting for people to arrive, I discovered that there's a typo in there. And it's a significant typo. In the first paragraph, the last paragraph, the second line says Nelson discussed priority 4 of the list and noted that apartment houses are being built, it says, on the north end of Tractor Supply parking lot. And here comes Dawn. Hooray. Thank you for coming.
And it's the south end, isn't it?
It's the south end.
Yeah.
And it's quite far along. If you happen to drive by
Yeah,
it, you notice it's quite a sizable piece of construction. So anyway, what we're doing, Dawn, is we're reviewing the minutes of November 17th. And welcome. And so with that change, I would suggest we make, and if there are any other changes or any other notes that people want to add or subtract from the minutes of November 17th. Karen does a nice job with these. She's the one who gets the credit. Yes, that Karen, yes. Karen Contos, for the record.
And sitting next to each other doesn't make it any easier.
Okay, if anybody would like to make a motion to approve these minutes, that would be helpful, and if you're ready to do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 17th, 2023, as revised
At this meeting, right?
today at this
Okay,
meeting.
could we have a second? Seconded by Karen
oh.
Reed.
I can't.
Oh, you can't.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, Nicholas was, I think, was also absent.
I was?
Yes, according to the minutes.
I'll
You were-
second it.
Okay, thank you, Karen. All those in favor of the minutes with the one amendment as they are, other than that, say aye.
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 And any opposed or abstainings?
I abstained since I wasn't here.
Oh, your representative was here, but that's
I thought
okay.
Nicholas was here,
I
but
thought I was too.
yeah.
Oh wait, Nick was absent out sick. I was absent.
You were out sick, yeah.
I was.
Nick
I was up.
How could
And,
I forget?
and Karen
Yeah, I don't.
I see you on TV so much that I just got your
Reed.
face in my mind or something.
Felt like I was here. Maybe because I'm here so at town hall so often, I just really knows.
You just, yeah. No, I remember that was very unusual that you were not here. And
I had COVID.
oh, that's a good excuse.
That's why I said, how could I forget?
Right. Good. Okay, that takes care of approval of minutes. And our next order of business is some items from the old business and the status of the Sauhegan River Trail. And it looks like it's moving along. I've seen crews down there. Dawn, would you like to update us on it?
Every turn is a change order.
Every turn.
Every time we open something up, it's unexpected and it's more money. Every turn we do, it's unexpected. They have poured a wall, they put a foundation, we've ended up pouring a complete wall to support one of the beams on the east side. We're working on a update for the west side because there were unexpected items over there, but we are working through them piece by piece. And they've asked for an 8-week extension, so we're looking at completing it somewhere in June at this point.
Okay, I thought it was always June. so
No,
that's no
no,
surprise to me.
it was earlier. We are moving forward. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
every time we turn around, every time we open something more, there's something different that we're finding in.
when you say open something more, you mean dig a little deeper into the foundation?
Correct,
Yeah.
into the canal, into the headworks, into the
Yeah.
whatever yes. So
Okay,
we're working through it.
yeah.
Just more surprises.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but,
Well, we couldn't see. We don't know because
Yeah.
it was buried, and
yeah,
we're having to deal with a lot of different issues
yeah.
as we're going through.
I see.
Had we but known. So we'll see. But yes, we're working through. And we're
we-
trying to keep the costs down, believe me.
Well, I'm sure you are. But,
We're making our adjustments as
Yeah.
we go.
okay, I haven't been down in there.
You cannot get down in there. Please
No.
do not go down in there.
Okay,
Please.
okay. Okay, keep us up to date.
I mean, I fell down there and
Oh, yeah.
broke ribs down there. So
Oh, no.
do not. And I had full protection on. So do not go down there.
Ah,
Please.
okay, that's a good announcement to make for everybody
Just-
who,
I
people.
mean, you have to have your hard hat, your vest, your shoes, your glasses, everything on, and you still, it's a construction site, and
Yeah.
you cannot go down there.
Yeah. Okay, make a note of that for the minutes, Karen, that make sure people get the word that it's not a public.
It's not
for
public access.
viewing,
Well,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
but
okay.
they had to stop work for a little while, but they are now working again.
There was some bitter cold, and I understood that.
No, it was because of the changes that they had to
yeah.
wait while we redesigned.
Yeah.
And the cold contributed some too.
Yeah,
So yes, they have been able to pour a footing and pour a wall yesterday
Yeah.
to be able to move on with the project. So
That wall is the retaining wall that's going to hold up the foundation for the sidewalk. Is that what we're talking about?
yes, and
Yeah.
yes, and it had to change because of the conditions that we found.
Yeah.
So we're moving forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Just
Thank you. That's
it's
all
always
good.
this whole project is step by step. and
Can I ask a question?
certainly.
Yeah.
I think it's an obvious, but I just wanted it for clarification. So all the gravel that they put down there to create like a travel path for equipment and so forth, I assume that's gonna be excavated at the end of the project and they'll return it to soil with grass?
I do not believe so. It's going to be closed off to public, but we have to have a way down there to be able to maintain the boardwalk going across and to be able to get down, to have access down there if somebody gets hurt and we need to have an emergency type. I believe it's going to stay, but it's going to be gated.
So there'll be gravel from the parking lot there all the way down to
From
where the
the
walkway?
fire station, yes. It's not a public access, but it was my understanding. It could, things are changing, so
I mean, it's not the most attractive, like, access. I mean, I envisioned, and believe me, I have nothing to do with the engineering, but I envisioned maybe a nice walking path down to there. right now you've got a wide swath of pretty heavy gravel in there that to me would be like, required for a
It
construction
will not
activity.
be open for the public. There will
No,
not
no,
be
no,
any.
I'm thinking the aesthetics.
And maybe we can put some loam and seed because it's not going to be used, that type of thing. But we'll need to have something firm underneath to be able to get a vehicle. But certainly can do something on the top. I'll mention it to them. And I have not looked at the plans in depth for that area. I've been dealing with this as we've been going through. So I'll look at that. I can do that for you.
The other part of that, and it's not really, it's in the infancy, but the Rotary Club is talking about community projects, and there's been some discussion on doing something down by there, whether it be benches or a patio area or, pavers or something, an entrance point or whatever to make it, an attractive entrance to the trail. So
Okay.
we've been holding off because of construction,
Yeah,
but there is an interest to maybe do something that would be aesthetically pleasing to invite people to, like, this is the entrance.
Yep.
Whether
Yeah.
it be some pavers and again benches and maybe some kind of placard or whatever it might be.
Oh, I meant to bring those up. We do have 3
placards.
that have been proposed that are going to be out there. Plus, we have that bronze one.
Yes, yeah.
And I meant to bring those up. I will bring them the next time
Bring
to our next meeting.
to our next
Here.
meeting.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I forgot today.
Okay,
sorry.
I've seen those. They're nice looking. They're pictures of the old mills.
They've actually put them together and I just got them.
Yeah,
They're brand new. I mean, I just got them this week.
okay, then I must have seen something else.
You might have seen a preliminary,
With the
but they've done a
Historical
finalized.
Society. Yeah,
And I have not sent them to the final to the historic yet. I
Yeah.
just literally got them, but
yeah.
I will do that when I have a
Yeah.
minute, and I can send them to you also.
Okay.
But
Well,
yes, I'll keep the Rotary Club. But we have some of those, and they're going to be at different stations along the trail.
That was my understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We should hold off on plans on those until we see when we see the finished thing, then that's when the Rotary should step in
And
and
what you want to
beautify
do?
it, make it
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah, well, that road concerns me, but we've already talked about it.
Well, I had the impression the road was going to go away, but that was my impression.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
That's quite a,
things have been changing out there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's right smack in the middle of where, people would view the
Yeah.
park,
Yeah.
and it's heavy gravel. I
Yeah.
mean, it's,
We'll have to see, Bill. I
view
think we
view
can't-
the part. What side are you talking about
I'm
first?
talking
talking about
the gravel
gra-
road.
from the parking lot, if you pull into Watson Park,
Oh, that's coming out. I'm sorry. We're talking apples and oranges.
okay.
That is coming out.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that would
Yes,
be,
it's going to connect up into the paved sidewalk. Yes. No.
that's coming out.
That's
and
coming
it would
out.
be put back in
Grass.
its original
Yes. Yes.
condition.
Yes.
That was always my impression.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm on the other. I'm talking a different
You're on the
whole
other side of the
different
road?
area. Yes.
Okay, yeah,
I'm sorry.
because that wouldn't make sense to me to have that.
I'm working in too many parts of it, so I was concentrating on the other. Right now, we're concentrating on the west side, on the fire station side, and that's where my brain's at right now. So I apologize. I should
no
have asked
problem. I was-
more
No, that's
precise.
good
But
news.
yes,
That's good
Yeah.
news.
that's why you said yes. That
Yeah.
is coming out definitely.
Yeah, and there will be
Yes.
an emergency access on the west side.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's going to stay.
That's what you were talking
That's
about.
what I'm talking
Okay.
about because that's what
That's always
that's
been
been
there.
our discussions
Yeah.
in the last couple days.
Okay. Right.
That makes-
So that's what I've been thinking of.
That makes
Sorry,
sense.
I
Yeah.
for the confusion. I should have
Yeah,
asked more
no problem.
questions.
Yeah.
So yes,
Okay,
across Watson Park, that is just for them because they needed a straight line on a fairly level surface to be able to get all the equipment straight out there without wrecking the rest of the park. That is to be restored. They've put down materials to be able to restore that. Yes,
Good.
absolutely. I'm sorry for the confusion.
okay, no, that's good news, that's fine. Okay. Okay, and you guys, Nick, are working with the contractor, have you taken any pictures of these horrors that we've discovered by digging in the?
I don't think that we've taken any photos of the horrors that were discovered, but I think Grace went down at some point and captured some footage of some of the changes that were made. If
Okay,
I'm not
we'll catch
mistaken.
her after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I know I am patiently waiting to see the video that the Historical Society has been working on.
Yeah, well, they've been working on it too.
Yes.
Good.
I mean, theirs is going to explain the history of that area and a
Yeah.
few other things, but I know for a fact that they've been down there, I think, since the construction started too.
Yeah.
Because they had to
Yeah.
borrow a hard hat from us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got sent back. Actually, they got sent back, and they
There were certain people where, yes,
Yeah.
but we don't want the general. We cannot have the
Right.
general public.
no, they had. I think
Period.
they had the permission to go down, but they went down and they were short a hard hat, so they came back and grabbed one from us.
Okay, good. Thank you for this.
No problem.
Okay, thank you, Don, for that, and thanks for your suggestions, Bill, on the possible help from the Rotary is always welcome, and they've done a lot for us here. Anything else anybody wants to talk about the Sauhegan River Trail before we move on? Last time we had some discussions of our priority listing on the things going forward. And one of the action items that came out of that, I had brought to the board's attention, to the committee's attention, that there's a missing link right now between the Tractor Supply parking lot and new construction buildings there, and the end of the Twin Bridge Park Trail, which comes out onto Twin Bridge Road. And there's a gap in the sidewalk there. You have to walk in the road. We had talked last time at our November meeting about that, and Bill had made a suggestion that we talk to the contractors for the buildings and see if we could negotiate with them some way of adding that little piece of sidewalk that's needed. It's about 300 feet. I agreed to talk to Paul McKaylee about that because he had figured in on this originally. The planning board did not see fit to make that a requirement of the, but there's a message to us from Karen Contos, who attended a meeting last night. Oh, incidentally, my conversation with Paul was, we'll try and take care of it when we come with the big project, the bridges, which is we're going to talk about later. But that we'll try and squeeze it into that contract some way. That was his answer. We didn't want to squeeze this contractor. However, Karen tells me that she went to a meeting of the council last evening, and I'll let her speak for it, but it sounded like good news.
Well, yeah, they had a public hearing for, they've received they're going to receive 480,000 of grant funds from, since they built those particular apartments there at Twin Bridge, a lower income apartment, they received this, or they're going to receive this grant. And I thought, well, how perfect to pay for the sidewalk from that grant.
the town received, it was money that I guess Governor Sununu put in for workforce housing, and it worked out to $10,000 per unit. There's a 1,000,000-mile long line of the people and projects that are talking about, but that was the discussion last night, as you said. And it's we have to just get on the governor's council agenda for them to approve it, and it's our money. So that should be happening probably at their next meeting, though that wasn't discussed last night. But
Okay, well, I would recommend that we, as a town council, town center committee, recommend to the council that we complete that little link of sidewalk, so that we'll have a sidewalk that'll go from Tractor Supply to Twin Bridge Park. And the trail is almost all there, and it's just this one little piece that's, they're walking in the road. And this is my suggestion to you all, but I'd like a motion or an approval to do that, or any other ideas you might have for the 400,000. But as Finley says, there's probably a
oh
waiting
gosh,
line
yeah,
already.
because it can be used for anything. And with capital projects, I don't know. We haven't talked about. I haven't spoken to Paul. You just were saying he was desirous of maybe trying to work it into the project of the Babusick Brook crossing,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if that's even possible. No,
I don't,
no.
I haven't seen the costs on that one yet.
That, well, I know that project's going to be expensive. I have not seen the cost, so.
What, point of clarification, did we already get 400,000, or is this a $400,000 pot that the governor has that we could request
No, it's
some piece of for?
it's a larger pot. I don't know what the size of the pot of money is, but we're in, it is our money. We just have to be on the governor's executive council agenda to have them vote on it. So the way I was led to believe that we're at the beginning of that process, so we're,
And it's
It's
not
pretty much on
earmarked, we're getting 400,000, that's a done deal.
480.
480,
Yeah.
that's a done deal,
yes.
but it's not earmarked within the town for any particular project?
No, it can be used for, there's no strings attached. It can be used for anything except property tax reduction. So, with unreserved fund surplus, some of that can be used to offset taxes. This cannot be. It has to be used for a project or for something.
okay, well, that's excellent news. And this particular little piece of sidewalk won't use anywhere near all of it. And it has a nexus to the reason we got the money in the first place. It's part of that housing complex. It lets those people who live in this new housing will have foot access, pedestrian access to Twin Bridge Park, which is,
I was just thinking, like, before you got here, Finley, Don was talking about the overruns on the Sauhegan River Trail. Can we use some of that money towards these overruns for the Sauhegan River Trail project?
It could be used for anything, is what I've been told.
I
at
mean,
our meeting in
wouldn't
prior-
that make sense? I mean, to some extent, at least selfishly for the town center.
Well, I was late because I was at a meeting with the town manager, and he had just told me that there were tons of issues going on with the project. And so I'm not even sure the detail, because I didn't hear it here because I wasn't here in time. But it can be used, like I say, for anything. I just know there's a lot of things out there.
I mean, we could burn through it in the next 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
I have some ideas. We could spend that quickly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. And it sounds like a boatload of money, almost $500,000, but it can go fast. Yes. But, yeah, so we didn't discuss what our opportunities were last night, but, they're abundant. So,
Where's the location of that section of sidewalk by the new apartment buildings?
Yes, it connects the new apartment buildings built a sidewalk on part of their frontage on Twin Bridge Road. They have a frontage there. They did not finish it all the way to the end of their property. And then it's got a cross, which is just paint really across the street there to connect to the end of the Twin Bridge Trail. The Twin Bridge Trail comes all the way down from Twin Bridge Park, the ballpark and all of that, through the forest, over the bridge, and then it ends there at Twin Bridge Road. So there's a piece that we figured at the time was about $100,000. That was, I think, Dawn's estimate, but
Have they already built or at least excavated for the sidewalk over on that project?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But our thought at the last meeting when we had a discussion of this was that we would ask them to try and work with them to make this, to finish the sidewalk, to finish this little link of $100,000. And that was our discussion. And I went to Paul with that. And Paul said, "Oh, don't do it there. We can't do it there. Do it as part of the bridge work, the contract that we just talked about here. We're having a public hearing on next week." So, I don't know, did that answer your question? What was
Well,
your,
my question was, have they already worked on the sidewalk for the piece that they're going to do?
I don't know.
And if they haven't, I still think it's worth at least asking the question or asking for a quote, how much would it be for that incremental piece? Now, they could say, oh, well, we'll just take advantage of the town and we'll give them a ridiculous price, or they could maybe give us a better price, because once they mobilize to do the
Okay,
additional,
okay.
300 feet, I mean, it doesn't seem, I've been down there, I've looked around a little bit, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be that challenging. There's no, there's no slope issues to
There's no
speak
slope
of or
issues
anything
and
like
there's-
that.
And there's no ownership issues, as I understood it at the time.
So I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got a contractor mobilized out there and he says incrementally, I can do this for X amount of dollars, just seems like that makes sense to me.
Well,
If we have the money and if,
it didn't make sense to Paul. It made sense to Paul to do it the other way, the way he suggested. Okay? Now, if you'd like to talk to Paul, go for it.
I mean, I don't have a problem talking to Paul, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But his suggestion was to do it this other way.
but if we have this, if people choose to do that piece from these funds that we have coming to us, the 480,000,
That's all brand new, yeah.
then maybe it's worth revisiting that and saying, what would be the incremental? It might be interesting just to find out if the contractor, what he would charge to do it. I mean, that doesn't,
Yeah.
that's not a big deal, is it?
Uh,
I really wish that the company that built those homes, those apartments,
Dick Agonost, right?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, well, it is, I think.
It is,
It is.
but they were allowed to have 24 units in there, and they went and got approval for 20 additional units. That's when they should have been muscling to have that connection complete
Yeah.
to get those opportunities. And of course, that doesn't happen often enough in our town when we have zoning. Some of the times I wonder why we do have zoning, because we ignore it very often. And
Someday the planning board's gonna learn that, they should hold these guys to the fire, because the
especially for
cost of
20
a
units,
sidewalk
it's
as a
almost double
cost
the
of the whole
size.
project is not that big of a deal, and, if they wanna do the project, they're gonna be willing to do the sidewalk, but we always let them off the hook. We did it at Dunkin' Donuts on Continental, we did it with the apartments on Continental. It's just, in the 40 Continental, the old Norton building, we let them off the hook on a sidewalk. It's small potatoes for these guys if they wanna do the project.
Well, especially when you're getting a change of plan, when you go from what is allowed and almost double your size, that's when you should have those things happen.
Yeah.
But,
Do we have an off-site improvements plan?
is that like an impact type fees and all? No, we have no impact fees. And part of the reason, well, part of the reason we don't is because we can take advantage of things, because when you have impact fees, you can't have these extra peripheral things come into into play. So it's always those opportunities have always been there. With impact fees, if you don't use it, it goes back. And it's a bit more cumbersome. There are people talking about, the desire to use impact fees. I know the fire department's talking about it. Some, members of the fire department and all. And I've never been good with impact, fees, the use of them, but it's a conversation that could be had, I suppose.
We can add drainage into something
Yeah,
of that, because people are starting to do drainage, fees, impact fees.
yeah. No, and you can, but there's a period of time that has to be used by, so it, from what I understand, I've
That's
never
true,
dug
yes.
deeply into it.
6 to 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 was coming to mind, but it could be something like that. But so we don't have them right now. I'd say as a rule, maybe in sewer in the water district, I think they do have. Those are connection fees, so that's kind of like an impact fee. Is it different than an impact fee? So yeah, so I don't think we have any impact fees in town. I mean, the connection fees help to offset.
So if you wanted to do these improvements,
So if you wanted to do the improvements, it would be through the planning process.
Yeah,
Would it be through traffic studies? How would you do
those fees.
request the improvements
Oh,
that you're talking
See,
about?
I don't know. Oh, well, no, if you're negotiating to add 20 more apartments to where 24 are allowed, you're asking for 20 more units. There's got to be some quid pro quo. I mean, we're doing that just because we're kind to you, because we want to help your profit
So it's
margin.
through the planning process
I
then?
would think
I
so, yeah.
mean, it's not worth discussing, but they would
Well,
they would sign up for that sidewalk in a nanosecond because
It's too late now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
a-
that type of thing that we should
it's
talk.
yeah, we should. And you got big corporations and we let them off the hook. It's just ridiculous. And then we talk about having no money for sidewalks. It doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Well, what would the committee want to do, like me to do, or like to do themselves, or?
I mean, should we send a letter to the planning board? Not the planning
Not
board,
the
the
planning
town
board.
council?
Town council, they're
Saying-
the ones who are going to be controlling this 480.
Shouldn't we at least throw our hat in the ring
Yes,
with the town
I think
council
so.
and say,
I
hey,
would recommend we do that, but I'd like the committee to agree that that's the right thing to do.
I mean, I think it's better to do that than sit silent
I think so.
and maybe suggest that we at least get a quote from the contractor that's doing because I don't think they've done it. People don't do the sidewalks at this stage in the construction. I'd be shocked if they've got that all,
Yeah, I don't think
graded
so.
off.
They're still putting up siding on the building, yeah.
That's kind of
usually done at the end, towards the end.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Yeah. We might surprise ourselves and find out that it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. Kind of thinking outside the box.
I think that's a good idea, quite honestly, just for the heck of it.
I mean, it doesn't cost us anything. We send something or solicit the contractor to tell us how much it would be for the incremental sidewalk. They come back with a number that's ridiculous, and we say thank you.
But
For
no,
information.
I'd be all in favor. You want to make a motion? Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we send a letter to the town council, requesting that they earmark funds from the grant that was given to us from the New Hampshire Housing or Governor Sununu's.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What's
It's
the-
Invest,
Invest,
New New
NH
Hampshire.
Invest, wasn't it?
Yeah,
New Hampshire Invest.
Invest New Hampshire program.
I thought you were also talking about reaching out to the contractor to,
Well, I was gonna make that as a
oh, okay.
additional, in that we solicit a bid from the contractor that's doing the housing project to give us a quote on the incremental sidewalks required to connect the proposed sidewalks to Twin Bridge Trail.
We're gonna ask the contractor to give us a bid to build that piece of sidewalk.
Just see what it would
Th-
be.
th- Well, yeah, okay, I
tandem
just
with
wanna
this
get it
project.
right, and I'll see,
If nothing else, we'll have an idea. Hey, contractor A gave us a bid of X amount of dollars. Now we're gonna go to another contractor, Continental or whoever we want to go to, or how, you know, I think the process is you put it out for bid. But we at least have a baseline.
okay, you want me to solicit the contractor for the housing project to do that additional work?
Earmark some of the $480,000.
Well, that's different, okay,
Well,
well,
that's part one.
I wanna be clear, and
Actually-
I'm not clear.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I, the best way to handle it might be two separate things, but you're asking to use that money for the sidewalk, whichever way it's done. But you're also wanting to see if it'd be reasonable, you know, if
If
we
it would
can get
make
a better
sense.
price, because he's already got a project going on, they're already set up for sidewalk, as what it would cost for the additional 100 feet or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Still gonna need to get the cost out of the $480,000, no matter which way you do it.
No,
You still need the
Right, but
cost of the project out of the $480,000.
it's got to be funded
It's
somehow,
gotta be
yeah.
funded somehow, so you still need it out of the
Yeah.
$480,000, no matter what you do. But you also then wanna ask the contractor for how
For a
much it would
price.
cost him as your first bid.
Exactly.
there's two requests, is that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think I understand that. Is that what the committee would like to do?
That is my motion,
Okay. that is
as
a
you
motion.
just clarified.
Okay. I'll let you see it before I send it, but,
Did you get that, Karen?
Yeah, I think I got that.
okay, do we have a second to Bill's motion? Just to be formal here, to be sure that we're in agreement on this, so I want to make it a motion of the board. I guess,
I'll second that.
who's, you,
Uh-huh.
those, yeah, okay, Karen. Okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Everybody, okay. Oh, I didn't see Dawn's hand go up. Okay, thanks, Dawn. Okay. We'll try and make that move along. Sounds like this is the time to do it because like Karen said, there's a lot of people who saw that meeting and have ideas.
The council saw that meeting.
Yeah, the council's got other,
And right, and it's, you've heard the whimper from me before. It's all the 20 cent, I strike that $2 increase in the property tax rate. You know, the upcoming budget, the upcoming town meeting and so on. And there's a lot of pressures all over for a lot of different reasons.
yeah.
But
Well, as you pointed out, you can't use this for tax reduction. So you've got to use it for something. That's what they want you to, they want you to spend that money.
yeah,
And that's the way the grant is configured, so.
And the sidewalk is right there by the
Yeah.
housing unit.
Yep.
I mean, it's like Nelson said, it's gonna benefit the people who move
who
into
live
there.
there. Yeah. They can go shopping or they can go to the park, right? Okay, we'll move on then. It's getting,
For another meeting.
yeah, okay, we've got the town center, we've got the school master plan. I don't see Matt here today. I understand they're putting a warrant article together for the building of the new administrative or SAU building plus there's some other function that's going in there as well. I've forgotten what it is. It was in the paper.
Oh, it's the superintendent's office and the special ed department. It'll all be inclusive in there.
Oh, okay. I knew there was another thing thrown in.
Right, and there's staffing consolidation because they have certain things that would normally happen in a central office
Yeah.
that are now happening in different schools, and they would consolidate it all.
Yeah.
How big is the project, dollar-wise?
So I want to say 7 million,
It was around seven, yeah, around
6.7
million, yeah.
I should know that, shouldn't I? I sit on the planning building committee. And,
Okay. Okay, we'll let that one go for now, and we'll go with the videotaping by the media center. You haven't done much, I gather, from what you'd said earlier.
We haven't done much since we originally did the Sauhegan River Trail, the groundbreaking ceremony video, and then we also did a what's happening in Merrimack segment on
Yeah.
the project. We'll probably do something when everything's complete.
Yeah.
And I know we have some footage of some of the construction that's happened since, but nothing complete.
Good. Well, that's moving along, and I'm happy to see that despite the pitfalls or pits that we found weren't supposed to be there. Let's talk about the Wire Road Babusick Bridge project. We have two letters. We have an announcement from the town center, from the town council, saying that there will be a public hearing.
No, they're different things. That is the F.E. Everett.
New Hampshire.
They are not the same thing.
Well,
Oh, no. I got a Paul calling me.
it'd be a public information meeting located at the town meeting, review and
My next
discuss the
meeting.
proposed bridge replacements and associated roadway work for Wire Road and Babusick Lake.
Bridge, they're the bridges
Bridges.
going over the F.E. Everett.
Yeah,
That's not what you have here. Oh, that is what you, no, it's the status of Route 3 Wire Road Bridge. I
yeah.
thought you wanted the intersection, our bridge. That's not what you went here?
yeah,
And
Yeah, I meant,
we got two projects. We got our project,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
which is, I did,
And I understood it's been combined into one.
which is Babusick, our walkway, our sidewalks is combined in with our Route 3 bridge, our Wire Road intersection in with our bridge project. Coming over Pinenberg, which ties into the Twin Bridge, all of it's gonna be combined.
Yeah, that's,
So we're working on that. That's not that. That is not that. That is our project. So we got two projects. All right, let me bring you up to date on both, because I had an up to date on both.
there's still two projects
There's
here?
there's two different projects. That is one.
That's just the Everett Turnpike,
the Everett-
Nelson. That's just the ones that go over the
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
turnpike.
Yep,
That both of
Sorry.
those are just the F.E. Everett. Those are from DOT.
yeah,
So our project, which is what I thought you meant here,
yeah.
I didn't look at it carefully, but that's what I thought you meant here. Our project, we are also moving forward. The state has officially combined our two projects. We had the Wire Road intersection
thought,
and our
yeah.
bridge going over Babusick Brook.
Uh-huh,
They have now officially been combined.
uh-huh,
The costs keep escalating.
uh-huh.
We're up to like $12 million. Yes. But that was the latest number that I've seen. So anyway, we're working on that. We are getting through preliminary design. We should be through it in March. And we're going through the NEPA process, which is the next process we need to go through. And that will be submitted hopefully by March 27th. And then we will be going through their process, and then we can go into final design.
what was the number that we had originally talked about?
Well,
More recently.
we had two different projects, and I think we were up to 10
It
plus,
was, okay,
10 million with the two projects. They are now refining those numbers. And then with the signalization that we had just talked about and putting all of the pieces, and that's what they're doing with the preliminary right now, is they're refining that project. And that was the last number I'd seen, so, but that's not an official, but that's what they're putting in the books right now, that's, I believe.
Okay.
But it's an 80-20, so
Right, well,
it's
that's
not,
like
it's not
$2.5
quite
million
as dramatic as, yeah.
2.5.
2.4 million.
Yeah,
2.4, yeah.
but we're moving forward.
Yeah.
But it's a big project. It's encompassing two projects.
Right. Which was a good thing because it's much more efficient use of everything.
Right, and we got them to expand the project from original. So they're doing sidewalks on both sides of Daniel Webster Highway, all the way up to Babusick Lake Road, all the way down past and up to Twin Bridge Road. So it's a good length of sidewalks that's going in on both sides. We do have to go before town council relatively shortly to be able to close a segment of Church Street because of the grading issues that are going to be created for putting in that sidewalk.
Yeah.
We've got to do that. I'm hoping to come in March, but every time I set up a date, something happens with town council agendas that I can't get in on that date. So hopefully in March I can get in now that we're done with
We'll make sure.
with that. Plus I need to get a better plan, which we discussed yesterday. Now, that is one of these bridges that we're going through.
That was the one that's on the agenda today.
That's what I took that at when I read through it real quick, and I said, okay, that's what I got to talk about, because I've never talked about the F.E. Everett one before you, but what he's got
Right.
for the paperwork is the F.E. Everett. That is going to be here in this room
On Tuesday,
next Tuesday night, which we just got notification on
this morning.
yesterday
well, we spoke about it
afternoon.
last night, yeah.
We all of us got a paper. Paul calls me up when I get another notice and said, come up to my office as soon as you can. When I'm in another meeting, I brought my paper upstairs and he goes, did you hear about this? And I said, I just heard about this. We had our dueling papers. And that's the way we found out about it, was yesterday afternoon from that paper
Here.
here.
Right.
Next Tuesday, 6 o'clock,
Right.
informational. You know what I know.
Not a public hearing, but a open house
Open
from
house.
6 to 7.
Yes.
And then beginning at 7 p.m., we're going to televise it on Merrimack TV and the streaming app. And I confirmed that with Wendy Johnson from the
Yep.
DOT minutes before this meeting started.
And that is in regards to Babusick Lake Road Bridge going over the F.E. Everett and Wire Road going over the F.E. Everett. Both of those bridges, from my understanding, are going to be constructed at the same time. And also our bridge down here. It's going to be very interesting. Within a so Babusick Lake Road is going to be, to my knowledge, the last I knew, 2 lanes going back and forth. So they have a detour bridge, 2 lanes, temporary, back and forth. So it shouldn't be as bad. You know, traffic should be able to move back and forth. We will have a 2-lane on Daniel Webster, back and forth. And I believe we might be a year off. So, but at some point, all 3 bridges will be going. Wire Road, I am not positive. The last I heard, it was going to be 1, just like Bedford Road,
Yep.
1 way, but they were considering doing 2 lanes. I do not know the final answer. And it's been a while. But, and like I said, we will all find out Tuesday night what they're considering.
No, perfect.
And they had several options on the table. I do not know which way they were going. And I haven't contacted them recently. So, yes, we've got bridges coming.
Correct.
And it's very confusing. It is very, when I get emails, it's like, okay, which email am I, what are they talking about?
yeah.
And I have to look at the project numbers to ascertain
Yeah,
which way
Yeah.
I'm
See,
going. 'Cause
I had always thought that we were talking about making one project, the bridge over Babusick Brook.
Yeah, but
And, that's what I had thought.
that's ours. but
Yeah, yeah.
over the Effie Everett's a different story. That's not ours, nor do I want it to be
No, don't
ours. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
it's
go with the
exciting.
flow and see what happens. You might all be interested to come on Tuesday night. I'm going to be here. And,
Or watch it from home. You can also watch it from home.
That's right.
yes, you
Tuesday
can. but
night's
you
supposed to
can't
snow.
Tell 'em what you think.
It's supposed to be stormy Tuesday night,
Is it? Well, that may change things.
as of 4 days ahead of
Yeah.
that.
Well, they may go ahead and have the hearing anyway, regardless of the snow. Okay, thank you all for that. The only other thing I wanted to be sure and talk about today was the Winter Carnival support. I talked with Matt Kasparius. The Winter Carnival is going to be on the 24th of February, which is a Saturday. It will be outdoors only. They don't want people tramping into their meeting room there. And so we can't get a booth like we used to in the old days, have a booth indoors. Do we want to support with an outdoor booth the Winter Carnival? And I guess that's a decision for this board to make if you want to do it. It increases our visibility in the community. It could be cold, it could be miserable, it could be, I have no control over the weather, but I wanted to give you all the opportunity to show off if that's your pleasure.
Can we kind of call an audible?
Call what?
An audible. Meaning like tentatively plan on doing something there, but if it's crazy weather one way or the other, we can pull the ripcord.
I'm sure we could do that, yes.
So
Yeah,
I would propose that
I mean, we just not show up, that's our vote, right? Yeah.
no, I mean, last year, I went down there not for long, and I think you were there. and-
I did
were
go
you there,
last
Karen?
year, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
And,
I think we both were there.
I think you guys
Yeah.
had it covered, so I didn't stay very long. But it seemed, I think it's worthwhile. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
when we talk about sidewalks and, support and the Sauhegan River Trail being completed,
yeah,
possibly by the end of June, and
Yeah.
letting people know that we don't want to do these projects in town if people don't use them.
that's for sure.
So the
yeah.
more we can publicize them, I think it's
Yeah.
better. I mean, certain things get used a lot in town and others maybe not as much. So, we should publicize the good things.
We should, if we're willing to stand up.
I mean, if it's 0 degrees, I probably won't be there.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
not gonna be in the area. I'll be missing.
You'll be someplace warm, I'll bet. Yeah, I thought so.
All my grandkids.
Yeah, good, good.
Can we maybe have a little email? I'd be willing to help. I'm around on that Saturday.
Okay,
Can we have a little email, like correspondence back and forth when I'm gone until the Thursday before that,
okay,
but I will be back
yeah.
on the 23rd.
Okay, Bill, one other piece of this that we're missing is when we did outdoor booths in the past, we used the Floods little tent and table and so on. Peter is no longer with us. We'd have to arrange a substitute for that or arrange to borrow Peter's. I'm not sure.
Well, public service announcement, I don't think you would mind me saying, but I had a pretty long conversation with Peter last week.
Did you?
Yes, and he's moved to Melrose, Mass.
Oh,
He has 2 daughters down there,
yeah,
and he's gonna be down close to his daughters.
yeah.
Offline, I'd be happy to share with you his address and information.
Okay.
I mean, he still has the house on Babusick Lake, but as of last week, he moved to Melrose.
He might
Okay.
be willing to.
Well, I don't
give up.
know. I don't know if we can get. I don't know how we physically. He can't drive or anything, and but we might be able to find one. People in Rotary have those. We might be able to find those 10 by 10.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah,
You're looking for a 10 by 10 tent?
yeah.
We have one. The media
The
division.
town has one, or
Media
you have
division,
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Problem
We also
solved.
have 5 by 5 as well. We
We
use
should
it for
probably talk
graduation
offline.
and
Dawn's got to go, and
Yeah,
we could.
Paul's been calling.
thank you. Thank you for coming. And you can tell Paul will be talking to him. He'll be getting a letter from us. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for coming. I know it's, we want to set another meeting date. We've got to do it before the 24th, I think. 24th
24th or what?
of February, I'm sorry.
This is February.
This is February.
I'm
We
not
don't.
having another meeting before the
Yeah.
24th.
Okay, that we won't have another meeting before before this event that we're talking about. So let's put it into March. And we've got Fridays 1, 8, 15, 22, 29 to choose from. Any suggestions, thoughts, or
I can only do 28, 29. I can't do anything earlier than that.
looks like that's 29 then.
29 would be better for me because we have deliberative sessions. The
29 works for me.
You'll have
For
to
what
have
it's
someone
worth.
else take minutes.
Okay. We'll, we'll work it out
Okay.
some way. Okay. So it's March 29th. Here at noon, usual.
It's a good Friday.
Yeah.
The deliberative session, according to this calendar, is on the 13th of March.
right. We're gonna have late weeks and our late nights. Those 2 weeks between the school and
Yeah.
town deliberative session. I don't know
Yeah.
what my Fridays will look like. Same with my
Is it
staff.
the 13th?
I want to say it's
Because they may have put it on the wrong date on my calendar here. I
This,
can find it out.
this one says, this calendar was here on the table, so this is for the town council, I believe, and they say the town deliberative session is on the 13th, which is a Wednesday.
Right.
And
Which makes sense.
we're 2 weeks later than that, so we're okay. For the 29th.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
Second.
Second by Dawn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, abstaining? None. Thank you, Dawn, for coming.